it is clean because of close-up. Colgate, Maclean's, Sensodyne, Longreach, chewing stick, charcoal and salt, Agnes Nwamba. Go cleanser. In as much as your heart is very clean, if you did not decide to use the toothpaste this morning, you will have a clean heart, but a foul spirit. Because if you open your mouth, you will change the effect of the environment that's around you. Media, we ready? Okay, play.
That was all I had. Hey, you know what, team? We've been here for a while. How about we order pizza? All right, so how do we want to do this? We order like a half pepperoni, half cheese?
How about we get a full cheese, half pepperoni, and then quarter olive?
I got it. 1 full olives, just total olives. And then 1 really small pepperoni and 2 extra large.
Go back.
Or we do a whole fleet of pizzas. Half of those pizzas are half Brooklyn crust, half Chicago crust, and they're all 2/3 pepperoni and 1/3 cheese.
Guys, just make sure we get 1 veggie pie, half cheese. That's all I ask.
Or 8 pies, hear me out. On each one of those, okay, we've got 1/8 cheese, 1/8 veggie, 1/8 stuffed cheese crust, no cheese. Yeah.
Hey guys, I got it. 1/8 buffalo chicken, no cheese, no sauce. 1/8 sausage, 1/8 thin crust, Delaware style, then 1/8.
How many people understood the video? Why would you not raise your eyes? I will not give you a microphone. How many people understood the video? Should I play it again? All right. Give me a microphone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give to Felix. What did you understand from the video?
Praise God.
Leave praise God. It's not church. This is a live class. That's why I've not said praise God since I started.
I understood that it was very hard for them to make decisions, though all of them there were experts.
It was very hard for them to make decisions in as much as all of them were experts. Okay? And they are all executives. Okay. Give to favor. Did you see the video?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, I understood that individual differences comes to play when making decisions.
Individual differences, they come to play when making decisions. Now, we saw this as something that happened on a board, on an executive board. But do you know that this is actually what happens in your head when you went to make a decision? Some people have not taken a step forward in the right direction just because a part of your life wants pepperoni with a little cheese. Another part of your life wants cheese with no pepperoni. How many people saw the lady that was drawing a pie chart? Yes, a lot of us are analytical. So much so like that we don't make progress in our lives. We stand at a place and and this is actually the key to procrastination. What you're supposed to do like this is taking you 3 days to do. God gave us common sense so that we can have the right sense. How many of us have heard our grandmothers or our mothers tell us that common sense is not common? God gave us common sense so that we can have the right sense. Common sense is for process. Right sense is what comes out of it. If it's common sense, then you have the same result because it's common. But he gave you common sense so you can have the right sense. Let me just... Indecision is a dull one. Every decision you make is a reflection of your evaluation, of the evaluation of who you are. Your decision is you. Say it. My decision. Say it well. Say my decision is me. Take it to relationship. Look at you. Ekwensu. Somebody married you and said he's married a wife. Sorry. Your decision. You saw at least 4 billion women on the earth. See, in this start that your seat is down, you can choose to start. Decision making is very easy when your values are clear. If you don't have clear values, you will not be able to make decisions. You were a church boy, but at a certain point in your life, you started smoking. There were some people that were not church boys and never smoked. At that point, it was not the Holy Ghost. It was value. I was in a fix and I used money. It was not your money. It was the money of the community. It was not the fix that made you use the money. It was your decision that made you use the money. Because you can still be in that fix and refuse to use the money. I want you to do a little random check in your head. What is it that I have decided on that I wasn't clear on my values? Some of us are still going through the consequences right now. They pressured me. No, sir. It was not the pressure that took the decision. It was you. No matter the pressure, it was still an opinion. It was still an opinion. He's pushing. You know you don't like him. But he has pushed him. Okay, let me now just give him a chance. Because he has pushed. It was not the push that gave him a chance. It was your decision. You could have still stood on your decision. The quality of your life is built on the quality of your decisions. We are our decisions. A man that is not free cannot make decisions. So decision making is a sign that you are free. You know you can be free physically and still be a slave in your mind. So what is controlling your decision? Let me run. The way this time is running. What is controlling your decision? For example, the way you dress, what is actually controlling it? Because what you're slave to determines what you decide on. These are very intricate matters when it comes to life. Yes. You know, some African leaders have stopped wearing suit and tie. You know the reason they stopped wearing suit and tie? Because it was the slave masters that chose this dressing. So if they still control the way you dress, you're still not free. That's why, for you to choose a wife, you have to leave your father and your mother. So God was indirectly telling you that for you to make that decision effectively, you have to be free. So if you're still marrying your wife and your dad is still telling you how to marry her, or your mom is still telling you how to marry your husband, you are still not free. So you can't even make decisions. So before you take a giant step in your family, you have to consult home. You have not left. What sponsored you taking this job that you're doing now? Was it you that took the job? Or was it something you were slave to that gave you the job? You know, when you're a slave to hunger, you can do anything. That's why in some companies, they ask you, what's your previous salary? You know, your previous salary most times is not to determine what to pay you. It's to determine if you have the economic capacity to handle what is coming in that company. Yes. You think it's to determine what they are going to pay you. They've already decided what to pay you. Looking at the budget of the company, it was not what you said that determined what you are going to pay. So that's why they will tell you that this is our benchmark. This is where we cannot pass. Yes. So if they believe in the corporate world, they believe that if they give you, if you were already exposed to a salary of 500,000 a month, that you can handle a sales of 200 million upward, you will not run away with the money. Because you've already been exposed to such a man that takes 500,000 Emole, with all the other incentives, if he manages himself well, he can live the life of a millionaire. So, but by the time that's why when somebody comes to me, he said, you're asking me, I say, up it. Up it. What you put there is not what you are paid. What you put there is your value. So what is your value? In life, we take steps. Our decisions are the steps we take. Physical steps are made with our feet. Psychological steps are made with our head. Let's say that you and your wife, you've decided to buy a land and build. You know you live in that house before you live in that house. If you understand what I said. You live in that house. In fact, it's the excitement of living in that house that makes you take the decision to build. A lady that is dancing on her wedding day, it's not a dress that she's wearing that's making her dance. It's because she's already living in the euphoria of what will happen after that day. Yes. I would say that religion misinformed us. That's why Christianity is not a religion. Number two is arrogance. Number one is ignorance. Number two is arrogance. Number three is a mixture of the two. You know, when you're ignorant, you can be forgiven. You will be taught. When you're arrogant and you know, you can be managed. But when you're ignorant and you're also arrogant, at that point, it's an ICU matter. Yes. Because you're ignorant, empty, but your arrogance will not allow you to be full. Number two, right decisions. I'm just running my time. These are ethical and consistent decisions that are in line with God's word and principles and life principles. They are moral decisions. You have to be brave to make those decisions. A lot of people are seen as standing in the way because they have decided in their heart not to make unethical decisions. You know, I think you should write this thing down. Suffering because you have a standard is less damaging than suffering because you don't have one. Suffering because you have a standard is less damaging than suffering because you don't have one. If you're suffering because of your high standards, then you are in the wrong environment. If you can't move yourself out, pray yourself out. If you're suffering because your standards are high, if you're a sticker to excellence and you're suffering, people say you do too much. And they tell me that all the time. Say, PD, leave it like that. I say, no. Correct it. They always see you as being intolerant. You don't fit in there. Don't force a square peg into a round hole. You know, before a square peg can enter into a round hole, they have to cut part of the peg. If you watch everything Apostle Paul, even Jesus, talked about, almost everything, he talked about us going inwards. The kingdom is within you. It is according to the power that is in you. Everything is about us going inwards, going inwards, going inwards, going inwards. Religion wants you to go outward. Jesus wants you to go inward. Go inward. Because it is inner transformation that brings out outer progression. There's no national transformation without personal transformation. It is a bad equation if your environment determines how you live. You are supposed to determine how you live in your environment. Before I get to the next kind of decision, don't be spiritual and stuck. You can be very spiritual and not progressive. In as much as he told us to pray, this is where we miss it. Pray without ceasing, but he also told you how to pray. Say, watch. So pray with your eyes open. It doesn't mean your literal eyes open. It means pray with every information available. Make sure you're not ignorant while you pray. So most times we take decisions that are wrong, now praying for it to be right. Because our eyes are not open on time. Yes. Let me tell you the truth. Prayer is not supposed to do the work. Prayer is supposed to be an advantage. Your head is supposed to do the work. But prayer is supposed to be an advantage. What prayer does is that prayer gives you direction to that which your head is correctly analyzing. God wanted to build a tabernacle. He did not pick Aaron to build the tabernacle. I'm talking about decision now. This is God about to make a decision. He is God. He has the power to turn Aaron, the chief priest, into a mercenary, into anything, into an artisan. But he did not waste time doing that. He told Moses to look for 2 people that are skillful, that their heads are correct in that line. So he had Bezalel and he had Aholiab. And the Bible said, and God poured his spirit in those people. See, let me tell you the truth. Revelation can only thrive on your level of information. A doctor that does not know anything about mitosis and meiosis, God will not tell him anything about how to handle viruses, the mutation of viruses. Yes. Because God will come from the base, what you already know. So because you are praying does not mean you should not upgrade yourself. In fact, your prayer is more beneficial to you when you are upgraded. If you're the most prayerful person in your class and you're not the most intelligent, you're not doing it well. Hard. Prayer will show you where to read. Your head will retain what is read. No prayer. He will bring to your remembrance. It's a head that has passed through that path that remembers. Are you? Remembrance is not first knowing. Remembrance is bringing back what has already been known. The next one. My time is almost up. We have wrong decisions. We have right decisions. Now we have wise decisions. Wrong decisions are easy to know, to do. Right decisions are easy, but wise decision. Wise decision is not picking from the wrong and the right. Wise decision is picking from the right and the right. It is in wise decision that you not say, is this wrong or is this right? The question you ask now, is this wise? Shouting at your partner in the public might be right. Because he or she did not do well. So shouting at him or her is right. Shouting in the public, at that point you are asking, is he right or is he wrong? You are not asking, is he wise? Because what wisdom does is that wisdom cuts down the consequences of your decision. beating your child in the presence of his friends, is he right? Or is he wise? Because you can beat your child in the presence of his friends and you mess up his self-esteem. Will you be able to deal with the consequence? Are you understand what I'm saying? The Bible talks about a woman, Abigail. David met her husband, Nabal. And Nabal insulted David and did everything. And the Bible said Abigail went behind and went and spoke to David kindly about the husband. Going to speak to David was a right decision. Going behind, because he would have still come out where David and her husband was saying and tell her husband, this thing you're saying now is not, can't you see that this guy has been doing? She would have come and it would have been right. And that is the problem most times a lot of ladies have. Okay, am I now wrong that I said it? No, it's not. You're not wrong. At this point now, we're not talking about right and wrong. We are talking about right and right, but we are talking about wise and unwise. You resign from the company, now you're hungry. Because you want to protect. How can he insult me? You want to protect an ego. Now, what good has the ego? Are you with me now? At this point, it's not wrong and right. At this point, it is right and right. But even being right can be still foolish. Somebody wants to sell a land. It is right for you to check all the documents. But it is wise for you to use a lawyer to check it. Because you can check the documents and still not see anything. Until the lawyer looks at it. You know, that's what kills most talented people. They give you contract. You just read and feel you understand English. And you sign. At that point, it is not about the wrong and the right decision. It's about the wise and unwise decision. There are some clauses that if a lawyer sits you down in that document and explains it to you, you will not pick those people's call again. That's why there is wisdom that comes from God. There is wisdom that comes from man. The wisdom that comes from God is a product of grace. Sorry, there is favor that comes from God. There is favor that comes from man. The favor that comes from God is a product of grace. The favor that comes from man is a product of wisdom. Meekness is wisdom. When you see somebody that does not give anybody anything, giving somebody something all the time, go to that person that is giving and watch him well. There is something he is doing, yes, that will affect your decision on how you manage matters. See, I just talked about Abigail now. What happened to Abigail? Her wisdom. David would have committed murder, but that man was destined to die that night. But the approach of a wise wife delivered her. Yes. Delivered her. David, so what did David do? David said, wow, this woman, they delivered me from murder. I marry her. The Bible never said it was because of her biggest beauty that David married her. It was because she was discreet in matters. She knew how to take decisions. Please, your life will change if you pay attention to the things I've said in 45 minutes. So that your life will not end up like the video we watched. If you did not see that video, sorry. Right. Where you are standing at a crossroad and there's so much analysis going on in your head and you can't even take one step. Which crossroad are you in right now? They are bombarding your mailbox. With opportunities. You are not thinking, should I leave my bank and go to that bank? Your way. At this point, you need to look at all the details. Pay attention to the details. Let me just enumerate in 4 minutes. I will not explain. I'll just enumerate in 4 minutes. 5 steps to making wise decisions. Number 1, investigate the situation in details. Investigate the situation in details. Investigate the situation in details. You want to marry somebody and you're asking questions and the person is agitated about you asking questions. Is a red flag. You always asking. Yes, I need to ask because I'm going to live with you all my life. I'm not used to surprises. If you're owing, tell me now. So I don't marry and I'm using all the money I've saved to pay debt. Investigate. That's why the Igbo culture, they will send people to go and know your place and ask questions. Draw you do well. Investigate. You have mails in your banks are coming telling you to leave that your bank. We'll up your salary, we'll do this, saying you the incentives. The people that left that bank, sit them down and ask them questions. You can have 750,000 a month with no peace. 400,000 a month with peace. Number 2, create a constructive environment for your decision. Create a constructive environment for your decision. Give yourself time. Get minds that will not agree with you. That will look at it critically but constructively. Create a constructive environment. There are decisions that you want to take in your life that's a life and death decision. You will have to call that your brother that does not agree with you. His perspective might be all you need. Number 3, generate good alternatives to decide between. Generate options. Generate options. Generate options. Don't just generate options, explore your options. Number 4, explore your options. Explore your options. Number 5, select the best solution and the best decision and take action immediately. If you're working with a team, communicate it. In this fifth one, add it. If you're working with a team, communicate your decision. Don't leave your team in the dark. As you're communicating to the team that you're leading, still be very open for criticisms. Because there is something that the person you went to will not see, that somebody in your team might see. Don't say, I have taken my decision. No. Five steps. What's number one step? What's number two? What's number three? What's number four? Being different does not mean that the person is your enemy. That somebody came with a divergent view doesn't mean he's your enemy. Yes. Most times what sponsors it is self. Your decision, see, your opinion must not be your decision. Your opinion must not be your decision. The best way to live life is by experiences, but by other people's experiences. Experience is the best teacher. Experience is the best teacher. It's not your experience, bro. If you need to be taught that accidents cripple people, you don't need to go through it to be crippled. Now you now know. You learn from the person. Yes, then you now know how to manage your speed. We continue in the next class. I wish I can take questions, but I have a Telegram group, live class with PD. You can just send in your questions there. All right, send in your questions there. We'll handle it before I continue in the next class. Thank you very much.